Welcome back to Mega Man 7. We're on the 7th Mega Man game. We're in Wily's castle, which luckily we did not have to do a bullshit pre-castle to the castle. Though this castle seems to be, laboratory, whatever you want to call it, seems to be as short as the other ones, which means this game isn't super duper long. In meantime, what we're gonna do, you can see, is we equipped the rush armor. We're going to use it to, I'm not sure cheese is the right word. We're gonna cheese the level a little bit. I say cheese because obviously the homing rush punch kind of negates a lot of the difficulty of this. But we are going to need to use it coming up at the midway boss here, as that's what it's good against. Good against the mid boss. So that's what we will continue to use. There should not be anything up in the thing there. This is going to be a bit of a waste. What it is, I suppose, go after the one that doesn't despawn, then lose the one that does despawn. But it's just a little bit of health, I guess. I don't know. Went the correct way, Chris. He's dead. Great. So, recently, I'm sure people either listening to this when it comes out or listening to this on the far-flung future probably do not care, but there's an anime that has come out in the last month or two called Dan to Dan, which is very bizarre. I'm like 5-6 episodes in at this point, and it's very strange. Very... Oh, by the way, we're gonna fight powered up base. My wait is over. This time the mighty Mega Man shall fall. Tremble, attack. So he essentially is gonna do what I already have equipped it to me, which is he's gonna form the super bass / treble combination. I think his power is a little bit better than mine is, but nevertheless he's very predictable in his movements. So we should be able to delete him, I hope soon, quickly, that is. So, unfortunately, looks like I'm gonna have to use an E-tank though, because either me or him, whoever does the next damage wins. So, either use the E-tank or I don't. Doesn't really matter either way, I suppose. I'm gonna have to use it after the battle anyways. But, why? Why can't I destroy him? Question mark. Question mark. And he teleports away, so he doesn't actually die. Because why would you get rid of a character that is essentially the I don't know, the anti-hero, the anti-Mega Man. But whatever, right? I was gonna compare him to Zero, because he kind of has that like angsty, angry feeling like Zero does. But Zero's more like Proto Man, obviously, where he's kind of like, he's number 2 Mega Man, if you will. A lot of people really like him. He's definitely different than the actual original, but at the same time, he's like kind of a background character, if you will. That's fine. Alright, great. Use the slide here, go back down on the ladder, either way. And, yeah, now we're gonna do the actual fire area, which if you have a rush thing, it makes this area very simple, but you can also use Iceman power here to sort of get yourself up the up the ladder, I guess. Bit of a puzzle, I know. With rush power, we sort of negate all that. I'm gonna go left to go right. At least that's what I should do. Well, at that point, well, posed to be useless to me. Ended up going for the health and ended up dying anyways. It was pointless. Pointless! This Wily Castle isn't too difficult. There are certain things that are obviously clearly challenging. This area, this stage, this portion being one of them, but you know, you get rid of, or you ignore the springs, it's a lot easier. Ooh. Yeah. So this time I think we're just going to, obviously, since I guess we can't gather the health again, we're just going to try to shoot up these platforms as quickly as possible. Try not to waste too much life, too much time. Doing a great job starting out here. I've been hit by everything I've touched so far. What you gotta do is jump, then do that. Yeah, that's how you do that. If you press the button too quickly, you don't get the full jump arc, and then you're using up your not great, not terrible. Trying to die here, I guess. Not gonna let it happen though. So that health is probably not worth getting. Probably just better to get up here, get into the Wily boss area, and kind of move on with our life. I'm gonna have to go back to auto after this to pick up some more E-tanks. I'll probably have to go and grind out off-screen, grind out some bolts so that I can afford these things. Because even if I don't use too many of them when we fight the robot masters, I will want to have probably a full inventory going into the Wily boss. Doing great. Yes, you've seen turtles the entire time. Now we're going to fight a turtle. An actual turtle that not only is a robot, but also dumps off babies, I guess? Little baby turtles. Fun. Kind of like a... looks a little like a blimp. Kinda. I don't know. You tell me. Slide, slide. Smash, smash. Nope, that jumped over him. He leaves... What's so dangerous about fire in this game is that it unlocks Mega Man, so like all of a sudden you're not able to do or react to what the boss is throwing at you. But in addition, it does 5 individual pips of health. I'm gonna switch over. Just want to get rid of the turtles. They're a pain in the butt if you don't. If you do manage to bubble one of the turtles and get the big turtle run little turtle, it does 5 damage, but I've never been able to successfully do it. So I'm also doing a pretty shit job here. I'm gonna have to use another hit tank. Alright, great. Isn't that great? That guy attacked. Again, you have to basically put the turtle in just the right position so that when he sticks his head out, he hits it, because he's invincible in any other form, whether he's going up, coming down, he's invincible. So like, how do you bubble up one of these turtles in such a perfect way that he physically puts his head out to do the damage, but he's not invincible to it? Alright, well, glide, dead. Congrats. That's a pretty shitty way to do this, but I guess that's how you can do it. I'm not saying I am a good Mega Man 7 player by any stretch of the imagination. I am a very piss-poor Mega Man 7 player, and I'm heavily reliant on my E-tanks to get me through some of these boss battles, because I see the pattern, I recognize the pattern, I still take damage, you know? Alright, well, I've got 36 bolts. Everything's half price, but you can see I can only afford 1 E-tank and nothing else. So I'm gonna have to go grind off some bolts and then come back and fill my E-tanks later. So that's kind of what we're gonna do now. And then when we come back, I'm gonna be doing the rest of the Wily stage, I guess. Fun, huh? Skipped over all the bullshit. Alright, there are 2 paths, much like every good Wily Castle boss stage blah 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 insert bullshit here. You can see I have full everything now because I went and grinded out some bolts to get the E-tanks, Wily tanks. This guy's an ass. If I use my charge ability though, this should go easy. It's strong against them, it also targets. I did, just to kind of give you a background in the area I cut out, I went to Junkman stage in that first section with all the cockroaches. I've not found a better place to grind out that shit. So yeah, that's what I did. I felt like that was my best opportunity to gather in the least amount of time the most bolts. And then after I got around, I don't know, say 500 bolts or so, I went and traded them in for E-tanks and W-tanks and S-tanks and bullshit. Love it, don't you? Luckily, the invisible block thing doesn't really last all that long, just this one board. And now I go up the ladder and we're done with it. Pretty simple, huh? And unlike Mega Man 4, where you have to try to be on the ladder and make the jump and not be able to kill the fucking guys, we're actually going to give you a platform to jump off of, so, you know, remove the difficulty from the game. Just too hard. Obviously, if you have rush coil, you can use that instead of the rush adapter I have on. You just have to take care of the guys without homing punch. So we're going to try to get that one up too as well. I'm going to have to take this off briefly just so I can slide. And then we'll likely switch back to the rush adapter. Probably made a boo-boo, a little bit of a boo-boo there. I should be able to make this jump. Or I'll just do that, because I'll be invincible to the spikes briefly. So, there are two different paths you can go. Top path is more difficult and does require you to use the rush. Or no, it doesn't. I don't think it actually does, to be honest. You may... nope, you don't have to use it to get up there either. So don't just ignore me for a second, but the top area is definitely easier with rush adapter. This is what it is. Don't go too far left or right. Pattern changes as you go down. Eventually get to the floor, fight some enemies, blah blah blah. Top area, pretty straightforward. It's just a straight spike pit. We're actually going to go that way so I can show it off. But it's essentially a straight spike pit, and you have to do the stupid block puzzle, you know, the one that you did in Mega Man 1 and 2, and it's been in every game. So get good, because there's no practicing this time. You see a lower block, there's probably a higher block that's going to come after it, like that. And then here's your E tank, S tank, W tank. I obviously bought the W's and the S, so I didn't need to do that. We are going to drop down here so that we don't accidentally land in spikes. Hello, Stegosaurus man. I will kill you. And you are dead. Kind of glad there's... Well, I never played any of the later Mega Man games, 8 through whatever. But I'm glad they've never done like a caveman, which would be a terrible joke, at least in English. And I know in the X series, all of the Robot Masters are animal versions with some spin. Alright, so I was talking earlier about the ability to power up your noise thing, which normally you have to use a wall to bounce it off of. However, if you press the shoot button and slide almost at nearly the exact same time, a split second apart, where you press attack and then slide at the same time, you can do what I just did there, which is get the powered up version of the noise thing. He's only acceptable in his nose, and traditionally, if you're looking up a guide, it'll tell you you have to use Spring Man here. This is actually the alternative. I think it's a better alternative because I don't know. I think noise is a little bit easier to control than to try to figure out where the coils are and to make sure you're holding the up button so it goes high enough to hit the nose, and you know, be at the right distance and don't fall behind, because if you're not running forward, he could get you with this laser or crush damage you. You can see I've kind of figured out his pattern here. Stay at the front, you're pretty safe from those two. I'm going to come back here a little bit whenever he throws the bombs. Doing kind of a shit job right now of killing him. But I don't think... Oh, yep, I just spent my noise cancel there. If I have to use another E-Tank, I will be very mad at myself, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get through some of these bosses, I suppose. Yep. Embarrassing, isn't it? 2 E-tanks on one boss. Just because you refuse to learn how to actually fight him legitimately. I mean, the toughest boss in this game I haven't even fought yet. The Wily Capsule is by far the hardest thing in this whole fucking game to beat. And I'm not even there yet, and I'm having to use 2 E-tanks on these little baby bosses. Whatever. Alright, there's a passcode if you need it. Hooray. Yep, we have to go back to auto again because I luckily grinded out enough bolts, but I've been using too many E-tanks. So I gotta go replenish my E-tanks again. Because I'm gonna actually physically need 4 this time. In addition to whatever extra lives I have. I'm just gonna drag my corpse to the end of this game. I'm gonna fill it with E-tanks until I can't fill it with an E-tanks anymore, and then I'm gonna get a continue. So this is the area right before you fight the Robot Masters. They give you a little bit of shit, but you don't have to fight anything unlike some of the other Mega Man games, which I appreciate. Robot Masters are a little bit different. I've got an elevator that takes me up and down this time. But there are 8 portals that'll take you to 8 rooms to fight the 8 Robot Masters. They don't tell you who's in each room, so you're gonna sort of have to guess. Or you can look up a walkthrough. Freeze Man, here. You can see, I've only used Junk Man's power once, and it's like ideal, provided you don't physically stand next to him the entire time. Alright, great. I got most of my health back. Thumbs up on that. Move on to the next boss, which is probably, I'm gonna guess, let's go Slash Man on this one. Hooray, I win. We're gonna use anti-slash on him, which is freeze. Yay, freeze power. Don't get stuck. This was Mega Man X. Basically, whatever power is good against Slash Man would actually knock his claws off. Ideally, I would not get stuck in this. Alright, we'll get through this without dying. Congrats. We did it. We lost more health than we gained, but that's okay.